Hubert Davis and North Carolina don't have many offers out on the table for the class of 23 right now, but the class of 24 is loaded. So many offers out there, 9 in fact, including the most recent one, which went to Trenton Flowers. Let's talk about him right now.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, it's Thursday, September 8th, 2022. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Schade, and I want to thank you for making Locked On Tar Heels your first listen or your first watch every single day. Please don't forget that the show is free and available anywhere you get podcasts, so please make sure to subscribe right now so that you don't miss a second of your team every day. Whenever there's some recruiting news, always want to hop in and learn about that recruit, and so Sports Illustrated's Director of Basketball Recruiting, Jason Jordan, joins me today to just give you a little bit of a primer on Trenton Flowers, the most recent offer in the class of 2024. It's great, as always, to be joined on Locked On Tar Heels by Jason Jordan, Sports Illustrated's Director of Basketball Recruiting. As is always the case, we'd like to thank LinkedIn Jobs for being the official college recruiting sponsor across the Locked On College Network. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. So, Jason, it is Labor Day week, later in the week. Hope you had a great weekend. I know we were just talking about how we're both thrown off by it. Yeah. But one of the things that happened actually on Labor Day is that the news came out that North Carolina has offered class of 2024 Trentyn Flowers. And this is really interesting because Carolina's 23 class is really slim. Right now, it's just Simeon, Wilcher. And as of the time when this airs, we will know TJ Power's destination and then also an offer out to Zayden High. But that is it right now in terms of offers for 23. Yeah. But Mr. Flowers becomes the 9th offer right now at this point in the class of 24 for North Carolina. So let's dive right on into this young man.
Yeah, love Trent. I've watched him for at least the last year, and I've watched him at all of his different stops. But
yeah, I want to talk. Yeah.
But just about his game, he's a 6'8" wing, but he can play like a 2-3. But he's really long, and he does a lot of things on the offensive end. But he plays with a fire on the defensive end. He can guard pretty much 1 through 4 on the defensive end, but. He's knocking the perimeter jump shot down efficiently. He's getting to the cup at will. And because he's so long, he's able to get players on his hip really easily. Wow. And so when they get there, and he's super athletic. So, he's finishing over most guys. But the biggest thing about him and what makes him really go is his mentality. Like he has a dog mentality at 6'8" and long. So you put that together and it's tough, and it's just really starting to come together for him, I think, in the last 6 months. He ended up – so he was at Sierra Canyon. He's at Huntington Prep. Then he was at Sierra Canyon. He's at Combine, which I think is a great look, by the way. They're loaded. Combine Academy is loaded. I'll actually be there early next week.
Oh, wow.
And so I think it's going to be a great fit. I think he'll grow under Mike Wright, great coach, great high school coach. And, I think that'll serve him well. It definitely will serve you guys well to have him right in the backyard down there in Lincolnton, which is really pretty much Charlotte, North Carolina. So a guy I'm very high on, been very high on since I think I did a first story on him back in December of last year when we were at the Chick-fil-A Classic, which is when North Carolina first got their first look at him, first started getting in touch with him. So, yeah, and that relationship has grown ever since. So it didn't shock. I mean, I think he knew the offer was coming when I talked to him this week. We actually have a story on him coming out on Thursday. So I think he felt like the offer was coming, but I know he's very excited to have it.
That's great. And it seems like Sean May has been the lead recruiter on that, along with obviously Coach Davis. So you love to have a Final Four MOP in your living room doing the work. That's not bad.
Yeah. That's not a bad sell at all. That's not a bad sell.
And so, Jason, you talked about some of these stops that he's done. Last year started at Huntington Prep, transferred mid-year to Sierra Canyon. I'd even read somewhere at some point earlier this spring, he was planning to go to Rosedale Christian in Maryland this
Yeah.
fall. And then now, as you said, is committed to Combine Academy.
Yeah.
What are they just trying to find the right spot? What's going on there?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think they just, hadn't had great luck with fit at the different stops that they were at. And, I think he, just wanted a better opportunity. And I think he's got a great opportunity at Combine. Mike Wright is like I said earlier, a great coach, guy who really believes in Trenton. He speaks very, very highly of Trenton. And he has a squad. Like, it's not like Trenton's like
right. Yeah.
Trenton,
the guy.
He got Silas, Emery, Requise Passmore. I mean, they're loaded. So, I think getting involved with a coach that is really going to push him and really a place where he's going to be able to get better every day against guys that are about his size and about his skill level, if not, sometimes better at different things. I think that's going to grow him a lot over the next year. It's funny, man. I asked him if, to your point, you're like, oh, we only got one 2023 kid. I don't know if you were getting at this or not, but 2024, with the blow up, in this day and age, you have to ask kids, are you staying in 2024? Are you coming on down to 2023? And I did ask him that, and he said, no, at this point, he's definitely going to stay in 2024. Okay. He has no, but I've heard that before. Not to say that he's not keeping it a stack with y'all, but I mean, I've definitely heard that before. I don't know, just because of the blow up,
Sure.
It's ascending. And I don't think he's done with offers. I mean, he picked up Louisville and Florida State today.
Yep.
And I don't think he's done. From what I'm hearing and around the Mulberry Bush, he might be getting another big offer. So I'm curious.
Yes. Yeah. And folks, keep in mind, when Jason Jordan says around the Mulberry Bush, he's not just saying what he's reading. This is actual intel he's hearing. Yeah. So you're getting this direct from the people. This isn't just random scuttlebutt from some Joe Schmo. Jason Jordan bringing you the real deal stuff here. So very appreciative of that. Now, something that's interesting to me is, everywhere is listed as a strong forward, this 6'8" guy, but on his own Twitter profile, it says 6'9" combo guard is how he defines himself. Now, you said, he can kind of play down to that 2 or 3. Is that just kind of aspirational on his part? Why would he put that? What is that a legitimate part of his game now?
100%. No, he definitely can play 2-3 interchangeably. Like, so if he wants to be a 2, he can be a 2, 100%. He obviously has the size to play the 3, but he has the size to play a 2 as well. And he can definitely handle the ball. Like, he's a get the rebound and go, and he can run the point on that possession. He's that kind of skill level. Wow. Like he has like a pro skill set for sure. Definitely a pro size, but he definitely couples it with a pro skill set. And he's a guy who has a super high ceiling. I mean, he has to grow. He has to get stronger, you know, that kind of stuff. But you know how I feel about getting stronger.
Yes, yes.
And so, but I think he's continuing to understand defensive principles and rotations and things. And that's where the growth is going to come in. But, when you forecast where he's at, where he's grown over the last year and where he, with a logical progression could get to, it's scary. It's scary.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Well, crazy. Well, we're going to look a little bit more at what that size and that scariness could do, what really stands out to Jason about Trenton's game after I tell you a little bit about upside. From cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us all where it hurts, and it really hurts. And that's why I use Upside, which is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out. With every purchase, I'm earning cash back thanks to Upside. I legitimately, this is Isaac saying this isn't just some copy I'm reading, use this app every time I fill up with gas, and it saved me so much money in this summer of crazy prices at the gas pump. It really does work, and it's super easy. To get started, download the free Upside app, use my promo code LOCKEDON, and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, claim an offer for wherever you're buying on Upside. Check in at the business, pay as usual with the credit or debit card, and get paid through the app. In comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside. The users are earning more than $1 million every week. That's probably why they have a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. So download the free Upside app and use promo code LOCKED to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back using promo code LOCKED. Okay, Jason. So getting back to Trentyn Flowers, you had said, man, the potential ascension here is scary. If you had to identify one, maybe two things in his game that specifically stand out, making him this elite level of individual, or where you see that ascension getting to, what would those things be?
I would say probably his ball handling ability and his ability as a playmaker, because that really opens up everything for him. Like, so he's at 6'8" and long. You know, you usually are either long or you're shifty, right?
Yeah.
But he's both. Like, he's got some stuff with that ball. You know, he can keep it on a string at 6'8", and he's long. So it's you know, anybody who knows anything about basketball, it's tough to guard a long. Oh, I couldn't stand those guys. Long defender, because you could be there, but you're still not there because they're longer than you. You know, but he's also shifty, so he's like creating separation just because of his ball handling ability. And then when he's getting by you, his ability as a playmaker for himself or his teammates is exceptional. And it's only grown since December when I saw him at Chick-fil-A. Because he didn't have a great Chick-fil-A tournament, but he had I think he had one good game. And that's when I did the story on him, because I was like, oh, man, this kid's great. And then his coach, who's a good friend of mine, Arkel Bruce at Huntington Prep, his old coach, was you know, kind of pumping him to me. And so when I watched him, I saw the good game. And so, right. And so, but he just was diming it out. He was doing the look away pass after breaking his man out on the dribble. I was like, God, he's 6. He's legit 6'8". And that's crazy. And then he's super athletic as well. So, you know, it's you know, I'm expecting a big year from him, because he'll play a national schedule. He's playing against a lot of elite guys this year. Combine is going to probably run up on. And so, you know, I'm definitely looking for him to turn in a big year. And so you know, I think he could probably ascend in that 2024 class in that McDonald's All-American range. I think he's already there, but I mean, he could solidify it for sure.
Yes. Yep. And that's that consistency every time out that we've talked about quite a bit. And so one follow-up I want to ask about is ball handling skills. Sometimes when we talk about these guys that are like a 3 or a 4, and we talk about these ball handling skills, sometimes we say he's got ball handling skills, and that means positional ball handling skills, right? Like, it doesn't compare to a 1 or a 2, but some of these guys legitimately have ball handling skills no matter who you compare them to. Does that make sense what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
So when we look at Trentyn Flowers, does he have positional ball handling, or does he just have it on a rope?
No, rope. Yeah, you're not taking it from him. You're not taking it from him, and he's going by you. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. That's that shiftiness you're talking about.
Not just because he's long. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not because he's long. He's going by you because he's creating off the dribble, right? So he can create off the dribble and get by you. He can create separation and pull a step back, and he's efficient. He's knocking that thing down efficiently. He was knocking it down at Huntington. I think he shot above 40% from 3 while he was at Huntington. You know, Sierra Canyon is different. That's a different animal. Won't get into that. That's a different school. So, you know, but I think at Combine, you know, I definitely expect him, you know, with that squad. Man, good luck. They're loaded, and you know, they added. I think Trenton was the last domino.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
So he's going to benefit a great deal from playing with a lot of elite guys, and we're in a system where his coach is kind of letting him go and letting him grow into what he's, you know, forecasted to be. I'll put it like that.
Yeah. Well, those of you that are in that Charlotte area, make sure you go check out Combine Academy this year. Get your eyes on Trentyn Flowers. Now I want to get into the actual recruitment of it a little bit, Jason. We've talked about his game and what he can do. As you said, the offers are just coming out of the woodwork. Everyone's getting their hat into the game on this one. I know some of the places I've read is he definitely wants to visit Oklahoma and Kansas and Duke and Oregon, Michigan, Arkansas,
Yeah.
Memphis. No dates that I have seen on any of those, and that was just about a week ago. I've read that he has said he was a Duke fan growing up, but as we've said, that doesn't always equate to commitment.
Yeah.
And so as you're looking at this thing right now, and it seems like maybe there's not too much of a timeline yet, how do you forecast his recruitment playing out?
Yeah, so I think he is going to cut his list down middle October, around that time. And he said he wants to. This is what he told me. This is coming. Some breaking news. This is coming out in the story, right? But he told me that
Love it.
he wants to have a list full of schools that have offered him, right? So it's funny, the word is trickling out. You know what I'm saying? And clearly he's on message, because you see the offers are rolling in, because they know they have a month. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to cut that list down, right? And so let's do another thing to my point about, like, are you moving this thing along for a junior? So
yeah,
but he said from his mouth, he's definitely going to North Carolina. He said that could potentially, now that he's got the offer, that could potentially be an official. But when initially he said it was going to be unofficial. Definitely going to Carolina. He's definitely going to Duke, and he's definitely going to Kentucky. He definitely said he's going to those three schools in the next month and a half. You got to give time for the Midnight Madness. He'll be at somebody's Midnight Madness.
Sure.
But he said he's definitely getting there. Those are three that he's definitely going to take.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that'll be September 30th for North Carolina is Midnight Madness. So we'll see what happens there. We already know that Zayden High will be in town that weekend. And so it'd be good to get perhaps those two guys in together. Jason, last question I want to ask you today about Trenton is, I know it's impossible at this point, but if you had to predict, I mean, I know, as you just said, there's the Carolina, there's the Duke, there's the Kentucky. If you maybe had to predict like a top 5, and I'm just asking you for your best assessment at this point, early September, who would it be?
I think North Carolina. I'll put it like this. This is how I answer that. I see what you did there. This is how I answer that. I think y'all will be in the list. I think y'all will be on the list, right? I think you're good. But I'll say this. He said this, and this is what kind of stood out to me. Two things. He said he wants to have a list that is, he can point to and say, all these schools have offered me. But he said if he felt like the offer was coming, he would put a school up there that had not offered him yet. He said he would do that with maybe one school. This is his word, right?
Yep.
So I think you guys will be in there. I don't know if it's a top 5. I don't know what the 5 would be or what the number is. But this is one thing he said that stood out to me, probably the biggest thing, because he's taking a visit to Georgia State, an official visit to Georgia State.
Wow.
And he is very much adamant, as adamant as I've seen in this summer, about he's not being cliche when he says, I'm going to a school that fits my game. I don't care about your jersey. He said he doesn't mind admitting that he grew up a Duke fan, right? Yeah. But he'll quickly shoot that down and be like, yeah, but I'm this isn't about me, what school I'm like growing up. It's, it's about the fit. And he said, it's not about the jersey. It's literally about where I can thrive, So he said, I don't know that I'll take the traditional route. This is it. This is what he says. But, if the traditional route looks the best for my ascension, great. I think that's great. If it doesn't, I think that's amazing. And that's what he said. So, and I don't hear that.
No, that's refreshing to me.
Not so adamant. I mean, people say it like, it's all about the fit, because they don't know what else to say. But this kid is putting some thought into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, he looks at the draft, and he looks at NBA rosters, and he looks at, guys like Bones. And, Bones Island, and look at, mid-major guys that are thriving in March. Yeah. And I think that's starting to catch on with different guys, but certainly something that he's taking a big look at.
All right, so we'll have to keep our eyes and ears out for Trentyn Flowers, maybe cutting his list down at some point in October, and then looking to potentially take some visits around the time that Midnight Madness starts kicking off, which will be late September, early October for most teams around the nation. Hard to believe that we're just 2 months away from the 2022-23 season.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. It can't come soon enough. Jason, as always, brother, thank you so much for your time and great insight.
Always, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. North Carolina has been in the hunt for class of 2023 power forward TJ Power. He had a Final Five of North Carolina, Duke, Virginia, Iowa, and hometown Boston College. Yesterday on Wednesday, he announced his college decision, and as had been the rumor, he announced that he is going to Duke, who continues to load up their 2023 class. We don't necessarily need to talk about that today, but we do want to talk about what this means for North Carolina. The Tar Heels, as we know, have Simeon Wilcher committed in the class of 2023. They lost Gigi Jackson's commitment. He decommitted, reclassified, and went to South Carolina. And now TJ Power has committed to Duke. That leaves only one outstanding offer on the table for the class of 2023, and that is Zayden High, whom we've talked about some here on the show. Zayden High announced last week he would be coming to North Carolina for an official visit on September 30th. It seemed like potentially an interesting date at that point, but then we have subsequently learned that that will be no longer, it's not called late night anymore, but live action with Coach Hubert Davis. So Zayden High will be in the house for that. Now, what's interesting is North Carolina is going to have multiple open scholarships next year. Simeon Wilcher will take one of those, but then you've got Pete Nance definitely coming off the board. Leaky Black definitely coming off the board. They will have exhausted their eligibility. After that, you're looking at Armando Bacot probably leaving, probably Caleb Love leaving. Let's just say those four. So that leaves you with still 3 open scholarships. You're looking at I would say at this point, the probability that Zayden High is a Tar Heel, but even if so, you've still got 2 available scholarships. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Davis doesn't continue to pursue any more high schoolers at that point. Why? Because he's shown a willingness to go into the transfer portal and get high impact players. The first year of the transfer portal, where you could have the one-time transfers without having to sit out, you had 3: Brady, Manek, Dawson Garcia, and Justin McCoy. This year, there was only 1 scholarship available, and that was only because Kerwin Walton ultimately decided to transfer, and that's why Pete Nance is a Tar Heel. I wouldn't be surprised to see both of those 2 open scholarships for next year, assuming the numbers play out like I'm suggesting. I wouldn't be surprised if both of those were to portal players. Number one, if Armando Bacot's gone, you've got to have an immediate impact 5 center, someone that plays the 5 position. You need to go out and find that. You don't want to rely on an incoming freshman to be your next Armando Bacot. Now, I know you can't always just go out and find an Oscar Tshiebwe like Kentucky did last year in the transfer portal, but someone who will be of better caliber than would be an incoming freshman. Another part of the reason I don't think we will see maybe many, if any, other offers in the class of 23 is that, as we've already said on the show today, the Coach Davis and the staff have extended 9 offers at this point in the class of 24. That says to me that they are planning to load up in the class of 24, and then the class of 23 is going to be something of a bridge year. Obviously, with Simeon Wilcher, he is no bridge. He is a dude and a dog, as we've talked about, and can't wait to see him. But that is what I think Carolina will do from here, and how they handle this situation going forward now that TJ Power has committed to the Duke Blue Devils. Well, that is it for today's episode of Locked on Tar Heels. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining me. Coming up on tomorrow's show, Mr. Anthony Pagnotta joins me once again to preview the Georgia State game coming up on Saturday. Also going to have an episode where I talk with Ben Moore, who is one of Georgia State's beat writers, to get a little more insight on the Panthers. And so that'll be a little bit of some bonus material for you there as you get ready for this game on Saturday. Want to remind you once again that we have our drive for 5,000 coming up, is going on right now. We are working to get to 5,000 YouTube subscribers on Locked On Tar Heels before the tip-off of the first basketball game, which will be against UNC Wilmington on November 7th. We've had some great progress already in the first day of this. Would love to have you join in with us in this community just by subscribing. Very simple to do that. Just click the button right there. Pretty simple. You can follow the show on Twitter at Locked On Heels. You can follow me at Isaac Schade. Make sure you follow Jason Jordan at Jason Jordan SI. Well, it has been great to be together today. Make sure you go check out the Ultimate NFL 2022 Prep Show that's brought to you by the Locked On experts and the Odyssey NFL Insiders. Great content there. Can't wait to talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And I want to remind you that it is always a great day to be a Tar Heel. Until tomorrow, peace.